Um, Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining the Azure Power Lunch um, this Friday. And I just want to quick disclaimer, this call is being recorded, and these recordings we post on our website on our YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, you can drop off now. With that, quick the- kind of a intro about our topic of discussion. As you may have known, that there was a Microsoft conference, Ignite. It was in 2021, and it was a completely online conference, as most of the things have been since COVID. And this conference happened earlier this week, and there are a lot of new update product announcement from that conference. And to be honest, we cannot cover everything in like 30 minutes. So what I have done is um, there are some announcements that I have picked, and it doesn't mean that they are important or not important. I think they're more I found them interesting. So that's what we will be talking about. And folks, just a request, if you are uh, not presenting, I mean, if you're not asking a question, please mute yourself. Thank you very much. Um, so let's talk about some of those updates. First of all, this is a new platform. I won't call it a new product, it's a new platform, Azure Percept. And what it's all about, it's about all about having AI at the edge. And just let me spend a few minutes on that. AI at the edge is a big thing because as we are using more and more, um, you know, um, uh, AI, it's needed more and more at use cases like factory floor, where you want to see the defects, if there are any, in your products, or in autonomous vehicles, where as the vehicle is moving, if there's an object that it sees, how it reacts to it, and how you process that information. And in a number of those scenarios, the internet connectivity may be limited or may not be reliable. Or they may have to work offline. So you want to prepare for those scenarios. So that's why you want to have the AI available at the edge. That's a big thing. And this platform, which has hardware devices, specs, services, and dev kit and a studio, all of that in one package allows you to do that. So you can build your model, you can test your model. So it has two devices that comes out of the box. One is the Azure Percept Vision, which is a camera, and the Azure Percept Audio, which is an audio device, and you can use these devices to test your models. So, and as third-party vendors bring their own devices, they get certified. You don't have to retest your stuff. Your models are already tested on the standard device, so they will work on the certified devices. So that's the big thing. And one very important thing to keep in mind, that you will have, of course, you will have these with these services, those devices. I mean, Microsoft has gone that far that those devices are compatible with 80/20 railing, which is most industries use to mount those devices. So that's another thing. I mean, basically, your devices will work with different industry standards, even at that level. So that's the main goal of this Azure Percept platform. So it's kind of covers a wide space, but the goal is simple: make a provide a comprehensive edge AI platform. So basically, think of it the scenario where somebody is at the front desk and he need to sign in through facial recognition. That's one of the scenarios. Or, as I said, factory floor where you are looking at defective products. That's another scenario. So those scenarios are, or somebody speaking voice commands and you want to listen to it and act on it, uh, these kind of things. So that's where this platform, brings value. And it has some new products, some existing product, but as a platform, it's brand new. Okay. So second one, managed instance for Apache Cassandra. Okay, that's a new service. Once again, it's one of the a new addition to Azure managed uh, databases, like Azure Managed Database of SQL, MySQL, and this is the managed instance. So in this case, what we are providing is we are providing open source Apache Cassandra on a managed VM, basically on managed VM scale sets. That's what we are providing behind the scene. So it's a managed instance. You don't have to worry about feeding and caring of the VMs. You just use your Cassandra instance and it, go ahead.
This place back in the late 20th century. I love that now that we're in the 21st century. I think back in the 20th century, before hypervisors were introduced to the data center.
Thank you. So thank you for muting. So basically, that's the goal, and it kind of helps with hybrid scenario where you have Cassandra on-prem, you want to migrate it, and you want to keep make sure that you still have Cassandra in Azure, but you don't want to manage the whole hassle of managing the infrastructure. That's what you can use for those scenarios. Just keep in mind it, I mean, it's different from the Cassandra API for Cosmos DB. Yes, there is a Cassandra API in the case that if you want to migrate your database into Cosmos DB, but still want to use Cassandra API. That's another option, and some customers have gone that route. But this option is available. It's currently gonna be in preview soon. So this is a new service. Okay, as I said, um, with the manage, since it's a managed service and managed so, PaaS offering, so it comes in with the given benefits, you have the ability to get metrics out of it, what's going on, and monitoring stuff. Second thing, it simplifies the scaling. So you can increase the size of your instance. And one thing we already talked about, hybrid deployment. So you have multiple instances deployed, some on-prem, some in the cloud. You have Cassandra running on-premise and this managed instance running in the cloud, and you can basically do the migrations and things like that. Or you can add those instances to the existing Cassandra rings that are running on-prem. So that's an advantage. If you have, oh, by the way, let me clarify. If you have connectivity through on-prem through Express Route or things like that, okay? Just keep that in mind. Any questions? Moving on. Some of the updates around Azure AI. So one thing is cognitive search now has the ability to do semantic search. So what is semantic search? Semantic search, just think of this. Somebody is asking um, questions like on a, of about a particular thing. Instead of giving answers on the keywords in that particular phrase, like Baseball Hall of Fame, it basically reads the entire thing, just like your normal Bing Google search works. It gets the entire phrase and get the semantic meaning out of it, and based on that, it does the search. So that's something that is now available in public preview as a part of Azure Cognitive Search. If you have an existing cognitive search with some small changes, you will have this feature enabled in your Azure Cognitive Search. So once again, Azure Cognitive Search, as we know, it has Azure Search, with cognitive capabilities, and now it has semantic search available. Okay. On Azure Machine Learning, once again, I think the big deal is that Azure Arc now support machine learning. So that's another thing. If you don't know about Azure Arc, just one blurb, it allows you to manage your resources in cloud, in Azure Cloud, and on-prem through a single pane of glass. So you can apply policies. This is in general terms. Currently, it's available for Windows VM, Linux VM, AKS clusters, and now Azure ML. So what you can do is you can take your services, you can take your models, deploy on on-prem. You don't have to worry about it. We will deploy it on AKS cluster, and that's how they run on. Okay, and that's kind of, and you can manage all of these model through Azure ML, Azure Machine Learning. That's where you can track all of these. So that's and irrespective of where they are, they can be on-prem in the cloud. You can manage it on one place. Once again, as I said, Azure Arc model is simple, single pane of glass to manage your resources. They can be in the cloud or they can be on-prem. Okay. And one more thing, it has now support for, um, you know, uh, basically for large scale interactive data preparation with Azure Synapse. So that's another thing that is available as a part of this update. Okay, some very interesting updates on the compute side. As some of you may have, or some of your customers, or if you are a customer of Azure, you may have seen it that sometimes you have to ask for increase in quota because everything in Azure it has a certain quota limits. And in some cases, when you have such a certain application, you can ask to increase the quota. You have to open a support ticket, and that's how you increase the quota. This allows you to do capacity reservation uh, online. Okay, so basically, if you have, you need to kind of a higher level of um compute needed, maybe a 3,000 machines or things like that for a certain amount of time. It will be available in preview where you will be able to reserve that the high level of availability, for your mission critical application. So that's something that is now available on demand. You don't have to go through a support process. In the virtual machine scale set, very interesting development. One, you can change the VM size without redeploying the scale set. I think that to me is like a big deal. uh, let's say that you are running an application and you realize in that application that, okay, this VM, it's too big for my application. I may want to decrease the size of below, you know, reduce the size of the virtual machine, but then you have to rebuild the scale set. In this case, you don't. You can, without redeploying, it will just dynamically change it. Second is you can now mix spot VM instances with your pay-as-you-go VMs. So that's a big deal. Before, a VM scale set can either be all spot instances or all pay-as-you-go instances. If you don't know about spot instances, these are instances which are available. Uh, Hello, folks. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yes, we
Sorry.
can.
Yeah, sorry, there was an interruption for a second. Um, so basically, what happens is that in this scenario where you have this, so I was talking about spot instances. Spot instances come from our extra compute capacity that we have in our region. So if to be used by if the customer auto scale, that is that extra capacity we can give customers with that in mind that we can take it back if the other customer who want to pay for it need it. It's much lower rate, at much lower price, but at the same time, it can go away as well. So, by the way, long story short, now you can have the VMs that you create with the Spot VMs. You can mix them up in a same scale set with, um, a pay-as-you-go VM. And finally, there's a new SKU that is available. It's going in public preview, which has a higher um, performing CPU, and you can also be deployed on dedicated hosts. So that's something, this MV2 SKU. So that's once again a big enhancement on that, and once a new SKU. Okay, right. I think that these enhancements will really help enterprise customer. For example, take a look at the key rotation. I'm going to start with that. With that, you can have once that is, I mean, it's in preview. With that, you can have automatic key rotation. So what will happen is, as soon as your key expire, it will start using the new key, and that's how. So if you have disks that are encrypted with customer managed key, customer do not have to do update this on all of their resources. What it will do is it will always secure it with the latest key. So basically, you just have a latest key for key version for that key, and it will just you start using the latest key to encrypt all that data. Okay, that's a very important feature for some of our customer who don't want to spend time in doing the key rotation and all. Second one, ZRS support for um, a premium and standard SSD. So this is, just keep in mind, this is only available for premium and standard SSD. Your disk will be zone redundant. There is no uh, uh, kind of difference in IOPS. IOPS are the same, but just keep in mind that your latency will be slightly higher, since when these disks, they write to all of their replicas that are in different zone synchronously to make sure there is no data loss. So with that, the penalty is latency is slightly higher. So just keep that in mind as you look at using these disks. Once again, this is a preview. Performance tiers. So there are performance tiers, and I think um, they've, uh, you know, uh, and you can have like different performance tiers on premium SSD. Now you can upgrade performance tier for a certain SSD without downtime. So that's the big deal, you know. And basically, that's kind of once again help our enterprise customer who may have to go to a higher performance tier because of a certain event that is happening, or some particular thing that they have to take care of, but they don't wanna restart a critical system or something. So that allows you to do it without downtime. Any questions? Okay. Um, on the networking side, IPv6 support for Express route. Many customers ask for it. It's available now, and it basically enable IoT scenarios. I mean, that's the one of the major, one of those the big category of workloads, IoT scenarios, which will be enabled by that. Um, on the uh, new product side, there's a new service called Azure Route Server. This allows you to dynamically inject, impact routing between NVAs and your virtual network. So that's how it has built-in high availability. So what you can do is dynamically inject routes, and that's and major scenario is customer who are using NVA BGP, Express Route, and with their VNets, that's where they don't have to, kind of they can use a single route server to dynamically update their routes, and that's where it comes into picture. Okay. Here, one of the big update is a scalable Bastion gateway. So with Bastion gateway, it's gonna allow you to have like 500, as many as 500 concurrent users. So you can go up to 500. Let's say that you have certain time of the day, you have that many users, but other times you have lesser user, very few user. You can scale it down, decrease the size. So that's kind of same principle, pay for what you use. So that's what applies here. So that's kind of help you bring the cost down. Also, there's a feature where you will be able to integrate Linux VMs, um, you know, um, kind of which have AD integration. So that's kind of that's another feature. More details to come on that. Probably that will need a separate session. Also, other things are, if you have virtual WAN, you can have up to now 100,000 remote user that can connect to it. It has increased from 10,000. And of course, virtual WAN now integrate with uh, VMware SD-WAN. So that's both of these are in preview. And this is all on that meet the customer where they are. If they are already using SD-WAN, let's provide a solution. With this solution, they can do integration, so they don't have to rip and replace um, anything, but actually take advantage of their existing infrastructure investments. Okay, Cosmos DB, which is one of the most popular Azure service and NoSQL database. Now it has one of the most asked feature, a role-based access control, RBAC. So now you can have Azure AD user who have assigned, you can create role based on that and assign um, to users and applications to it through Azure AD integration. And what it does is now you can give access to um, resources in Cosmos DB, and you can actually determine the identity, the person who did a particular database operation. Okay, so that's one of the big feature. And the second one is backup and point in time restore. And point in time restore is to address the scenario where you have run a command and you started to have a really bad feeling after that. Okay, I must have done something wrong. How I can go back? Point in time restore allow you to go back. There's a 30 days. So that's one of the great feature. There's some the Mongo support, server support for Cosmos DB API. Once again, it's not that it is stored as MongoDB. It's the interface is MongoDB API interface that is available now in GA. And one other feature, um, you know, basically real-time analytics can be run over the NoSQL data in Cosmos DB through this Synapse link. So that's another feature that is now currently in public preview. But I think the two most powerful feature are role-based access control and then backup and point-in-time recovery, because enterprise, uh, and not to diminish the other feature, but enterprise are really asking for those features. And I think that's a big step in that direction. Once again, we have 5 minutes. Any questions? Okay, so let's come to, this is like some general, and they're not small announcements. I just want to put them on the same page just to kind of, I don't think we have enough time to go over. So um, this is Windows Server 2022 that is available in preview, and it has basically have provide more hybrid capabilities with Azure, better security, and ability to run containerized application. So that's the direction that's this release is heading towards. Also, a new region, I think it's been gonna be called CN3, is announced in China. It will go online in 2022. Once again, just keep in mind, our data centers are run in China through our partner 21 YNN. So that's it's going to be the same case. So of course, same services of Office 365, of course, Azure, uh, those services will be available in those data center in that data center region when it comes online. So it's a new region. Um, in the Azure Manage, Auto Manage. So this allows you to manage your VM through a single interface, apply security patching, things like that for Windows Server VM. Now it has support for Linux VM, which is in preview. So that's something new on that particular scenario. Finally, um, I'm sure you know about Azure Communication Services. This is basically the underlying platform on which teams are running. We're just making that platform available to our other customers. Now, what you can do is you can uh, interop with teams from your application which are using Azure Communication Services. So you can basically write your own custom UI and all that, and it can interop with teams like make calls, join and chat, things like that. So this is going in public preview right now. You have to basically submit a form at the moment to join the preview, and then it will enable they will enable that preview for your subscription. So that's that's that particular update. Okay. Any question? We have 2 minutes. Oh, by the way, these are resources. So please, this is the Ignite 2021 site. You want to see any sessions on demand? Those sessions are available there. And then you have the Ignite 2021 Book of News. Um, this one basically have all the news that we have covered, links to the blog article, links to the resources, and much more. So please, the link is there. Please, if you want to know more about these, go over there and explore it. A lot of useful information. So with that, any questions? We have 1 more minute. Okay, folks. Thank you very much for joining, and hope to see you next week. Oh, by the way, Prithvi will be presenting. My colleague Prithvi will be presenting on, um, log analytics private link. You know, so that will be the topic next week, and he will be talking about it. So hope to see everybody next week. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe, folks.